What's going on, YouTube? This is Joezmcfly hitting you up with Q&A or weekly Q&A here on Wednesday because today is my day off here. I'm actually here with Jamal. He's actually taking me to the place so that we could go make some more hats, and I'll show you guys some more with that. But still recovering from yesterday's loss. Woke up today and I thought it was a dream, like it didn't even happen, but it did. Man, the cops are out here today, boy. This is crazy. But let's get right into the Q&A here, and our first question actually comes from Boxy. He says, do you honestly, I guess that means, do I really believe? Do I honestly believe the Yankees have a chance at being World Series contenders this season? Also, I would absolutely love the hats. Okay, yeah, I'm working on the hats, but how many times do I have to say, man? It's, you get in the dance, you have a chance. Anything can happen when you get in. This isn't like NBA where if you're the 8th seed, you know it's over because Cleveland is just going to demolish you, or, you know, Golden State is going to run over you. You know, it's not like that. In baseball, if you get hot, that's it. I mean, that's all I gotta say, man. And so Swaggy Shep says, by any chance, do you think Sevy can win AL Cy Young? And I think it's a possibility, maybe. I mean, he's pitched well enough to be up there with the top 3, but Kluber and Sale have been so good. Sale has taken just a little step back, but Kluber has been dominant, and their team is doing really good. So, I mean, it would take something amazing and miraculous for Sevy to win it, and it would take something, you know, it would take Kluber taking a step back, but with a month to go, I don't see that happening. Your other question was not baseball related, but NFL starts this Thursday. I was wondering if you do watch football and if you will make videos on them. Okay, yes, I do like football. I do watch the Giants. I'm not as into football as what I am with baseball. Like in baseball, I could name you second baseman or third baseman on Oakland. In football, I cannot name you an offensive lineman from the Vikings. It's just so many damn players. I know my team and I do root for the Giants. Will I do videos? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It depends. I don't know if people would like that, but I don't think I go to enough Giant games because they're so freaking expensive. I am going to make it my business to go to one, and if I do go to one, I will put that on the channel. Our next question actually comes from Dylan Vipers. He says, what are your thoughts on the Red Sox cheating scandal? Well, are you surprised? It's a New England team cheating. I mean, that's just what it is. Look, stealing signs has been around for a long time, and that's not the problem here. It's not about stealing signs. If the team is not smart enough to cover up the signs, then you know what, you take it. But when you are using the technology, which is camera work, and then conveying it to a Apple iWatch. Yeah, when you're conveying it to an Apple iWatch, that's just blatant cheating. Now it's like you're giving them, I don't know if you're giving them location, you're also giving them what pitch is coming. That's a lot, you know what I mean? That's not your stealing sign or deciphering signs. You're not doing that. That's different. So I'm not surprised by them. It's just whatever. Hopefully that makes them stop, but it's just sad that they need to do all of that to try to beat people. All right, so our next question comes from Eli Nathan. What would be the Yankee rotation in the playoffs, because our pitching is great, and we would have Monty or Garcia for the 5th starter? All right, yeah, well, first and foremost, when you get into the playoffs, the 5th starter is just, it's not even needed. It's because of the days off, how you get to stagger them. You could play with just 4 starters and you're fine. So I think of course, you're going to have Severino at the top. Then you're going to have, you know, Tanaka, Sonny Gray, and CC Sabathia. So, but it depends. I think, and I'll get to this in another question, I think Joe is probably a better manager in the playoffs because he doesn't have to worry about other things like rest, which I'll get into in a second. So Nick Savage asks, Q&A, what are your thoughts when Didi was replacing Jeter at shortstop when we first got him? When I seen tape on Didi, when I heard about the trade and I seen tape, I'm like, okay, well, maybe he can't hit, but you know, he can field. I'm looking at his fielding and I'm looking at his arm, and he looks good. And they were actually, and this is how crazy and how far Didi has come. They were actually thinking about platooning Didi with Brendan Ryan. Do you guys remember Brendan Ryan? Yes, Brendan Ryan. So he came over, and when he started, he was horrible. I'm like, what the hell is this? And he was making errors left and right, base running gaffes. I'm like, what is this? So many people were saying, you know what, this is not the guy, just give him time. And then the second half in that year was really good, and Didi has gotten nothing but better. So I mean, we're so lucky to have him. Matt Adams, which I'm hoping that's the baseball player, says, do you think Aaron Judge will break out of his slump? If so, how? Well, I mean, I hope he does. I think he will, because, I mean, it's baseball, because baseball. He walks a lot. He gets on base a lot. So that's a good thing. That's a positive thing about Aaron Judge. And also you're seeing with him, and he just needs to start taking the ball the other way. He's pulling off of his shoulders. So let's see. Let's see what happens with Judge. But I hope he does break out of it soon. If he doesn't, then, well, you know, that's just what it is. Next question is from Goat LeBron. He says, Devers or Benintendi? So this is a Red Sox question, and I'm assuming he's saying, who do I prefer, whether it's Devers or Benintendi? I would go with Benintendi. Devers has more power. I think he's all right at third base. I haven't watched him enough fielding-wise, but Benintendi, I mean, if you wanted to make a hitter, this guy has a level, a swing, as you can see. I mean, he's like a Wade Boggs over there, and so he's really good with the bat. I just hate him because of his freaking luscious, perfect hair. You know, Benny biceps is what they call him. Whatever, you make me barf. I guess I would pick Benintendi over him. Maybe Benintendi will grow into some power, some more power. You see the potential of that. The next one is from Lil Yankee King. And you know what, before I start this question, this guy is crazy, all right? This guy is real crazy on Twitter. I mean, he wants to DFA everybody. I mean, you got to have some patience with this guy, seriously. He says, what if we had starters of Gary Sanchez? Well, you look at this. It says Sanchez, Bird, Torres, Didi, Machado, Harper, Judge, Frazier, Castro, and then the bench is Sands. Donnie Sands is a minor leaguer, and then you have Tyler Austin, I'm assuming he's saying there, Castro, middle infield. I don't even know how you're having all of these players on your roster. First of all, this wouldn't happen. That's number one, because I don't think the Yankees are signing Machado and Harper. I think if it's going to be an either-or situation. And so that wouldn't happen, because one, that's going to be a lot of money, and two, we have position players at those same places that, you know, I don't know why we would do that. Bro, I don't even remember the last time the Yankees had a six-man bench. With the way that that means that in relievers, we basically only have a starting rotation and like two relievers, basically. Florial is going to be a starter with the way that he is. He's not a bench player. McKinney, I don't see him on the team. Andujar, if he's going to be on the team, he's going to be starting. Castro is I don't know, you put Castro twice, so I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen. All of this here is not going to happen. I think if that were, I don't even know how to answer that question, really. All right, so then Hawkeye says, what's your ideal lineup with a healthy team? Hicks, Frazier, that's Clint Frazier, Sessa. Sessa's not a what? Okay, the ideal lineup, in terms of starting lineup, and I mean, I don't really have an ideal lineup. Honestly, I don't. If you hit, you play. It's very simple. It's very simple. If you're hitting, if you're hot, you're playing. Right now, Ellsbury has done the job. He deserves to play. He deserves to start. If Clint Frazier comes up and he's hitting like his hair is on fire, then yes, I'm putting him in the lineup. And if Gardner's not hitting, he's out of the lineup. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh man, if all of these, because nobody's always hot at the same time, and your team is never 100% fully healthy. The next question actually comes from Famine Who. He says, do you think if CC continues his success through September, you think if we get a wild card, we will see him start based on his success and veteran playoff status? The wild card game, no. Hell no. Not the wild card game. The wild card game is for Severino and Severino only, unless Severino has to pitch the Yankees into a wild card game, and then you would put Tanaka in there. But I'm not putting CC. Now CC will start for me in the playoffs because of that veteran guile and his ace-like attitude and things like that. Yes, he will start for me in the playoffs, but not in a one-game wild card. No way. Ray 2K asks, pros and cons of Girardi's managing skills. I mean, with Girardi, what I think is that during the season, he's a little frustrating to be watching and then have him as a manager, because you'll have a guy that he'll be hot and he'll play, I don't know, he'll play like 3 or 4 games straight and he'll be hot and he'll bench him. Like for another guy that's not doing shit, and it's like it stops the guy's momentum, and then it's like, I think earlier in the year, I think Bird, when he was, still recovering, I think he still, he had a 2 home run game, he was doing well. The next game, he sat him. It was just like, what are you doing? But he does that a lot, or, of course, he does a great job with the bullpen, managing the bullpen, making sure that people are not overworked. He does a phenomenal job compared to Joe Torre. That's great with him. So, I mean, those are probably the pros and cons with him, where sometimes he errs a little bit too much on the side of caution. I think that he's pretty good. The Yankees could do a lot worse than Joe Girardi. All right, so our next question comes from the boss. He says, now that the Yankees are 3.5 games back, do you truly believe that we can be able to win the division and set up a potential tiebreaker in Yankee Stadium for the division? Well, first and foremost, the Yankees won the season series from the Red Sox. So if it is the tie between the Yankees and the Red Sox, the Yankees win the division. I do think that we do have the ability to go after the division still, because I don't think Boston's that good. I just don't. I'm sorry. I think the Yankees might actually even be better than Boston. It's just that the Yankees are starting to get healthy now, and let's see what happens with that. All right, and then our next question actually comes from Jamal. So what's your question?
My question is, if the Yankees do go on a playoff run, what do we do about closers?
All right, so okay, that's a good question. All right, so when it comes to closers, right, I think that the guy that you really want in the playoffs to be your guy, and I think that this is why I said yesterday that it's important that you do have him, is Chapman. You want Chapman to be the guy in the 9th inning, dominating. You want that. You want him to get back to what he is. 1, because, of course, his contract. And 2, because he has the ability to do it, and he has done it. The other thing is, you do have D-Rob, and he has won a World Series with the Yankees. He did not do it in the 9th inning, though. And sometimes he can be a bit wild. All 3 of them have control issues sometimes. And because, I don't know, I mean, D-Rob sometimes he does get people on base, even though if you look at his whip, which is basically the amount of runners that he allows on base is not that high. Betances walks a lot of batters, and I feel like he falls in love with his curveball a little bit too much. So for me, Jamal, make sure you do keep the pinstripes on, keep them strong. Let's go Yankees.